The problem is when this void is actually in the relationship, like it's going to have a significant impact on you. Like it's going to change a lot of the dynamic there. And a lot of times narcissists will have maybe varying degrees of the void per se, but it's still going to be there. Like it's still going to have something where they're going to seek to do whatever they want to be able to fill that. A lot of times you're going to have guys get into pornography, get into a lot of affairs, a lot of sexual encounters because like they're going to try to fill a void that they can't fill. Have you heard about the narcissistic void? Like the void that's in their life, in their heart, and their soul, and anything like that. You're like, I don't know what they're looking for. You might be wondering like why narcissists are so desperate for attention, for admiration. And you might have an aspect of someone in your life that has this insatiable need for external validation. Maybe you're around this person, you're walking on eggshells because you don't know what they're actually looking for, what they're trying to find. One of the topics that has been brought up that I'm going to try to talk to about today is the narcissistic void. I feel like this topic is a needed one, but it's also a really hard one even for me to describe because it feels like I'm describing like this dark, deep hole of nothingness that a person is trying to fill. So we're going to try. We're going to try to talk through it a little bit and at least give you some of my perspective and just some ideas about it. So if you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness, growth, healing, change, and development. To try to help people move through their healing journey of breaking the trauma bond, getting rid of the rumination, and move into a growth mindset where they're actually able to set up their values, the direction they want to go, build healthy boundaries, and live a challenge-based lifestyle to move ahead, to be able to actually accomplish their goals and dreams that they originally had set up before they got with a narcissistic person. One of the things that people don't understand in dealing with narcissists is the void that's there. The void that a lot of times is propelling a narcissist to continue moving forward to avoid it, to avoid shame, or to run after attention, to run after admiration, to try to find something to fill this said void. Now, it's a hard concept to understand, and it's also a hard concept to articulate, but we're still going to try, okay? So when we're talking through this aspect of the void, I want you to think of this void as being a concept of using like emotional emptiness. And this emotional emptiness felt by people who have narcissism, and like in the aspect of like not having an aspect of them filled. Okay, we're going to talk through some of what the void is, how it affects narcissistic individuals, and then impact it has on relationships with others. So I think probably the best way to be able to kind of start it off is to give you more of an example of talking about it. Like a narcissist might have this aspect of a void, and as a result of the void, they're constantly going to seek something. A lot of times it's attention, a lot of times it's validation from another person, hoping that this person is going to fill this hole inside them, this void that's there. Like this oftentimes will prompt a lot of jealousy, controlling nature, because you're spending time with other people. Like you're spending time with friends, with family, and they fear losing that sense of validation. So like when I was with other people, there was a piece of me that would be like, hey, if that person went out with a friend, with family members, with whoever, I was like, oh crap, like they're going to cheat on me. Oh crap, they're going to leave. Like all this kind of stuff. There was a piece there that would kind of pull, like thinking they left me, they're rejecting me, they're abandoning me. There's a piece of that, okay? And so I was always looking to control that to make sure that I had what I needed. Like I had what I wanted in the moment to fill a void of like, I need all the attention. I need all the affection. I need all eyes on me, that kind of thing. Okay, so this void sometimes like will kind of move people different ways, okay? You might be thinking like with the aspect of the void, like what is it? Like what does it actually look like? What makes up the void? This is the hardest piece to actually describe. The easiest way is to be able to say it's like a sense of inner emptiness. Okay, like a lack of this connection that narcissistic individuals experience, like hollowness, worthlessness, that goes into it as well, being incomplete, and things that are trying to be filled by external factors. Okay, so like there's an aspect of feeling hollow in the aspect of like having things that don't actually bring joy. So like I might have things in my life that I might like to do, or might be like, okay, this is cool, or there might be like these pleasures or these highs in one sense that I'm trying to fill. Like I'm trying to fill up something. I don't even know what I'm trying to fill up sometimes, but this emptiness here that I'm like, maybe if I do this, then I'll feel better. Maybe if I do this, there'll be a connection. Maybe if I find the right person, then there'll be ideal love. Then there'll be the person that actually gets me, that actually cares about me. Okay, so there's like hollowness sometimes. There's also this piece of like worthlessness, which you might be surprised because you think like, well, narcissists think they're worth everything. Well, there's an aspect that the mask is that way, but typically the person underneath doesn't think that. A narcissist isn't full of this self-love and how much they love themselves, which is why they do the things they do. And if anything, they're more filled with self-hatred of who they are, which is why they put up a mask to prove that they're not the person that they actually are underneath. So it's like back and forth. Sometimes it's worthlessness of like, wait a second, if I get someone to validate me, if I get someone to give me attention, then I'm worth something. And it's like putting my value, putting my worth on what other people think of me or what other people, like how they show up, how they interact. And so this aspect of worthlessness that a lot of times narcissists are trying to fill. Like maybe I'll be worthy now. Maybe I'll be okay now. And so that can be hollowness, can be worthlessness, sometimes incomplete of like, I'm missing that piece. So like for me, there was a part of it that I was like, I'm missing a piece of having the perfect partner, of having the person that actually gets me, the person that actually understands me, the person that I can be myself around, and looking to fill this void. Now I got like one person in my life that I was like, this person's gonna fill the void because she had borderline traits and like she was like narcissistic traits. And so she was like filling that because she was like obsessed with me. And I was like, oh, like this is what it's supposed to be. This is what love looks like because this person loves me so much because it was all about me, right? So like a piece of it was like, this person's going to fill my void. And then realizing that they never would. Realizing that no matter what they did, it still wasn't enough. So I would seek constant attention, admiration, validation, like looking to try to have someone fill this. One of the easiest ways that I could describe it or hopefully make sense of it is a narcissist has this big void, and I'm going to use this phrase and hopefully it'll make sense. A narcissist has a God-sized void that he's trying to fill up with small other things. Like there's a void in a person that cannot be filled by everything external. They can't be filled by other things, by sex, by money, by drugs, by anything. It's not going to happen. But a narcissist feels like if I do this, then I'll feel better. Majority of the time, it just disappears and it never makes them feel better because they're not actually tapping into who they are or what actually joy is, what that looks like sustaining that. But instead, it's just one high after another. So a lot of times that's how I describe the void. I think that's one of the best ways I can describe it. For me, and like understanding like my journey, and even in Christianity and faith and God and religion and all these different pieces, like I do believe that the void is partly of a God-sized hole that I was trying to fill with sex, with people, with money, with influence, with power, like all these different things, and it would never fill it up because all those things are going to fall short of what I'm actually looking for, of how I'm actually trying to be filled up. Okay? It affects narcissists a lot of different ways in the feeling of like always being in pursuit of something. Like I'm always going after something. Like nothing is enough. I remember one time working inside Chick-fil-A and we just hit like a milestone. We hit like an award, all this kind of stuff of what we did over the year. And when we hit it like a couple weeks before the end of the year. We hit it, like my first thought was like, awesome, next. And like I had people be like, wait a second, like we just did this. This is awesome. And I was like, oh yeah, but I'm already like planning the next year. I'm already like getting ready for the next thing because I met the goal. But the goal wasn't enough to actually even sit in the moment and be thankful for it or have gratitude. That's the reason why the majority of narcissists can't even tap into joy because they can't be thankful and they can't have gratitude for other people because it's all self-centered. It's all about them. So as a result, like it produced this insatiable need of just attention, admiration, validation. Like a lot of times I'll call it even like worship, of like looking for someone to worship and adore me. Like that's almost like the idea. Okay. As a result, narcissists are unable to actually generate this like self-worth from within because they're looking for everybody else to be able to validate it or support it or to prop up a shallow sense of self. Oftentimes, this is where I'm going to manipulate, control other people to be able to get that image, that mask actually supported by other people. The problem is when this void is actually in the relationship, like it's going to have a significant impact on you. Like it's going to change a lot of the dynamic there. And a lot of times narcissists will have maybe varying degrees of the void per se, but it's still going to be there. Like it's still going to have something where they're going to seek to do whatever they want to be able to fill that. A lot of times you're going to have guys get into pornography, get into a lot of affairs, a lot of sexual encounters because like they're going to try to fill a void that they can't fill. They're going to try to fill it with something that's never going to satisfy. You need to understand when this is happening, especially in like the sexual realm, it doesn't have anything to do with you. You're going to feel like it because he's going to make it seem like you. Okay, like, well, if you would have done this better, then I wouldn't have cheated. If you would have actually given me my needs and my wants and desires, then I wouldn't have cheated. Like, he's going to put stuff on you. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have anything to do with you, with your looks, with how you're showing up. It just has to do with him and his decision to actually show up as a coward in the relationship and not be a man. Not be a man and actually own it and actually work through the problems. Be honest about what's actually going on. But instead, running to other people, running to other things to try to fill a void that's not going to get filled. Okay? A lot of times it's going to come out with looking for the external validation, end up being like really critical of others, demanding constant attention, like demanding the entitlement, like this is what I want, this is what I need, and it's going to create this toxic slide into this relationship where they're never going to be satisfied and you're going to feel drained, like the life is sucked out of you and like you're never enough. I need you to understand like it has nothing to do with you. That is the hardest thing for people to understand. It has nothing to do with you, but it's going to feel like that because they're going to put it on you. If you're like, I don't know how to heal from this, I don't know how to work through this, I don't know what to do, I want you to go to escapetoxicity.com today. You click the link down below, anything to help move you forward. It's a 7-day challenge for $7. You get lifetime access to the community that's inside there of all the people that are going through and doing the daily assignments every single day and participating to help actually get free, to step forward into the reality of what they have experienced and how they're going to continue moving forward in their healing. It's the first step, the first stage in just setting the foundation of knowing about narcissistic abuse, reactive abuse, the guilt, all the different things that are happening in there and you being stuck, not sure how to get out of the fog. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, go to rawmotivations.com. Thanks so much for listening at my attempt to be able to talk through the void. Y'all have a blessed day.